Hello and welcome to my channel. On this video, I will be talking about the first 4 episodes of Naked and Afraid Season 17, where I give brief recaps of each of them, and I'm mainly doing this because of all my new friends on Facebook and Instagram who are in some way or form related to Naked and Afraid, whether they be survivalists or fans of the show, because I recently created 3 fan surveys, all fan surveys. Production had nothing to do with this, but 3 fan surveys where people can vote for newbies to XL they want to see on their XL redemption, survivalists, and survivalists who may have tapped on a 14 or 21 day challenge that they would want to see back, plus a fourth on the way. Links to the surveys will be below, and please vote if you haven't already. Now, over to Naked and Afraid Season 17 on Episode 1. By Crocodile, we see Cole and Shell taking on a location in which they must stay there for 21 days and try to make it without tapping. And Cole shows his proficiency as a hunter by getting a baby crocodile and one of the largest successful hunts. I need to be careful with what I say with YouTube because I don't want to have the algorithms sweep this under the rug. But he basically gets an eland, E-L-A-N-D, and defeats Danny in terms of getting the biggest hunt, where Danny got a 400-pound water buck while Cole got I believe, a 1,000-pound eland, which is an amazing feat. And Shell also showed her proficiency and survival by catching 2 catfish. And they were a really good team. And the episode was 2 hours long. And sometimes if it's a 2-hour long episode with 2 people, it can kind of be a little bit slow. I know certain episodes of the past have done that, but this episode was very entertaining from beginning to end. So that was a really good first episode and showing the skills that both Cole and Shell have, and they had really good partner dynamics. And Shell revealed on social media that she had food poisoning 2 weeks before the challenge, and she also has a thyroid condition that keeps her from gaining weight, and that's why she had the the look she did while taking on the challenge. Now on to episode 2. We have Chad, Ken, Brittany, and Sarah, and they do a tribe challenge where Ken and Chad are inserted together and Brittany and Sarah are inserted together. And if you recognize Sarah, that's because she did a fan challenge last season on Naked and Afraid, and they brought her on to do a 21-day challenge. Looks like she is very good and very popular, so they bring her back. Will she be on an XL soon? We shall see. And one of the themes of this episode is Brittany getting her time of the month during the episode. And I remember reading somewhere that there are rules on television about the use of feminine hygiene products, and since Brittany isn't using feminine hygiene products during her time on the show, maybe the producers were like, here, let's air it so people can stop asking us what happens when the survivalists get their time of the month on the show. I know a lot of people are thinking it was a little bit too much, but the producers are or the editors are the ones who edited this. I don't think Brittany was walking around just talking about her time of the month the entire time. That's how they edited it. And also, there is a point where someone pointed out how there was a trail of red body juices that you saw on some plants in episode 2, which apparently was from the eland from episode 1. So that's a little bit of editing shenanigans going on there. And everyone was very much enjoying Ken during his time on the episode because his social media presence is very great. He's a very expressive individual, and he was seen in a lot of promotional material for the show, and they'll probably bring him back for an XL. And I think after a certain point in time, Ken wasn't able to be as exuberant as he normally is because, after a while of not really eating, that kind of, takes a toll. And Sarah did a really good job as well. She was a great provider. She managed to get a turtle near the end of the challenge. She showed off her skills, shows that she's not just a fan, she's a full survivalist. And Chad unfortunately taps from the challenge this time around, and it's really upsetting to see because he was the one who got almost all the food for himself and Ken during the first 10 days before the merge, and he managed to catch a giant catfish on one of his stationary lines, but he unfortunately tapped before that due to lack of sleep, and also he lost 30 pounds and in 10 days, so that would probably took a very big toll on his mental health, and he had to leave the challenge. But hopefully he can come back. He is very skilled, and now he knows, and so he will most likely be more prepared for the next one, and I look forward to seeing him take on a redemption. And I believe the other three are good candidates for an XL, but we will have to see what happens with that. Now, episode 3, Colombian Cave. Oh, the previous episode is There Will Be Blood, but I will call it Red Body Juices because I don't want the algorithm to take this out. So there will be red body juices. That's all I'm going to say about the title for episode 2. Episode 3, Colombian Cave Women. That's Kai and Gabby return for their multipleth challenge, and this time they are mentoring two newbies, Megan and Elise. Unfortunately, Megan taps day 5 due to stomach problems, but Kai, Gabby, and Elise manage to make it all the way to the end, and Kai and Gabby skillfully catch an armadillo, and they are able to feast. But unfortunately, Elise is a vegetarian, and so Gabby was able to find some food for her in the way of plants, and Elise did try some of the armadillo, but her stomach did not really agree with it, so she ate plants, but she managed to successfully complete the challenge, and Kai and Gabby are on their way to becoming legends, and I hope we will see them in the future. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Now on to episode 4, Surviving the Road to Recovery, with Sam and Sarah, and their storylines for the episode is them talking about them recovering from addiction and them wanting to make their kids proud, which I think they did because they both completed the challenge. And I think that with the edit of the episode, it was very interesting because we see Sarah being a go-getter. She creates a fish basket and manages to catch a fish. She's out hunting and she's trying to find new ways to try to help get food and provide, while Sam doesn't take as much of a go-getter approach, and I fully understand why, because we see kind of these big strong men, for lack of a better word, come into the challenge and they work, and their bodies aren't used to the going from eating 3,000 plus calories a day to having maybe 100 if they're lucky. So we see them kind of burn out and then tap for the challenge, like Anthony, Wes, Giovanna's first partner, Wes, and Kyle, Riley's first partner. And so Sam kind of hit a wall a little bit and had to take a little bit of a break. And so he did more of the homesteading task of getting firewood and getting water, which is very commendable. And he was very smart to not overexert himself. And he didn't really take that many risks where, you know, when you're watching it on TV, if someone's not taking risks, people say that's boring, but hey, these people are out here, they're working really hard. Sam did a really good job, in my opinion. He managed to stay out there for 21 days and do really well in the challenge. And Sarah was more of a go-getter, and I'm sure a lot of people enjoyed watching her go through this challenge more just because she was doing something and people didn't perceive her as boring. But I do not think at all that Sam was being quote unquote lazy. He was doing what he could to make it through the challenge, and unfortunately he had to not, go out and do as much as Sarah did because, he hit the wall and he knew his body and he didn't want to overexert himself. And there was a point where Sarah did find some plants that she believed were to be edible, but Sam pointed out that there were two types of plants. One was edible, one was not, and he was able to correctly identify the plant as being the inedible kind. So it was good that he was there, or else Sarah might have tried to eat the plant and it might have had bad results. And also Sam kind of saw how he was being a little bit too laid back and apologized for not doing as much as he could. And he did find some Mopani worms, and so he and Sarah were able to feast a little bit before leaving. And so I think Sam did a great job. Sarah did a great job. People should not hate on Sam for their perceived laziness that Sam had. He wasn't lazy. He just knew his limits and didn't want to, do anything that would overexert himself. And I know there was a point where they were going on the hike and they got lost. And so I'm sure after that he was like, okay, let's play it safe. Let's not get too crazy, because if we do that multiple more times, we'll get exhausted. So there you go. There are the There are the recaps of the first 4 episodes. We've seen 1, 2 people tap. That's crazy. We have 8 more episodes to go. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, please like at least, or, watch till the end. I would really appreciate it. And, click the next video if it's mine. And, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening. And you are all awesome. Bye-bye.